Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog, thanks for pressing play. Today we have a detail day going on, which means we are going to pull the C7 Corvette ZR1 out, get it washed up, talk about how it is you should maintain your cars, especially if they are Expel PPF wrapped, ceramic coated, any of that stuff. We're going to show you exactly how to maintain it, make sure that there's no scratches, no water spots, none of that stuff. We're going to do it step by step, and I'm going to have Patrick, the detail guy, tell you exactly how to do it because this is literally his livelihood. Let's get to it. So here it is, guys. This is the C7 Corvette ZR1. Obviously, we've seen this a bunch of times on the channel. She's a little bit dirty, so we're going to get it washed today, and we're going to focus on cleaning that engine bay. Like I said, I've gotten a bunch of questions about this, and Patrick's here to show us exactly how to do it. If you remember, Patrick also showed us on the ZR1 how to clean the Alcantara steering wheel. He is the detail guy. If you're in the Pittsburgh area, that's the guy you want to call right there, and he's going to show us today how to detail the engine bay in a way that makes it so it's safe, so you're not getting components wet that shouldn't be wet, stuff like that. So let's get to the washing. So there she is. She's looking a little dirty. She's not super filthy. Believe it or not, the ceramic coating on this car actually helps keep it pretty clean. I was just telling Patrick that whenever I took it out of storage, it was clean, and I got caught in 3 different rainstorms in this car, and it doesn't really look like that happened. So ceramic coating is really, it's something else. It's what you want if you want to keep a black car clean, especially. All right, guys, so like I said, this is Patrick. He is the detail guy. You've probably seen him on a bunch of my videos where he is washing one of my cars or doing something for me as far as detailing is concerned. Today, we're going to be doing the ZR1. It needs to be washed, which is nothing new, but the engine bay situation is something I've gotten a lot of questions about. How to maintain it, how to clean it, how to do it without damaging everything. So Patrick's here to kind of tell us what kind of components do you want to try to protect when you're doing the engine bay?
Yeah, so some of the main things when you're doing engine bays are any open air filters. So some cars will have like an open draw, like GM's for example will have like an open draw at the top, and you know the air goes down into the intake. You want to cover any of those components up. As far as a lot of newer cars go, a lot of the components are protected or wrapped in something. So you can basically spray degreaser or cleaner, pressure wash them, scrub them. All that stuff is completely fine. Well, thankfully we're using a pressure washer, so we're not using as much water as say you would a garden hose. So that'll definitely be a beneficial option.
All right, guys, so before we get started into this particular detailing video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the pressure washer we're going to be using because this is kind of the star of the show. There are very specific products that need to be used to wash the car, but this is going to be doing a lot of the work. So you don't have to have a fancy pressure washer like I do here, but it definitely makes it easier. So just to talk a little bit about what I have here, because I've gotten a lot of questions about it. The pressure washer itself is an AR Blue Clean 630 TSS Hot, which TSS stands for Total Stop System, meaning if you let go of the trigger on the pressure washer gun, it is going to shut off, so the pump doesn't consistently run. Right below that is a Cox Reels with a 100-foot MTM hydro hose, and then of course we can just have normal spigot here delivering cold water. I do have down below a No Spots Pro deionization system that will keep water spots off the car. So we are going to be washing this car in direct sunlight. Patrick's kind of trained for this kind of stuff. You don't necessarily want to do this normally, but since he knows what he's doing, and we have a spot-free rinse here, it helps make sure that we're not going to get any water spots. Now, that's kind of a real quick rundown of what we're going to be using. Like I said, you don't have to use a real high-end pressure washer like this. You can use something you buy from Lowe's or Home Depot or something like that. You can even use a garden hose if you really want to. It's just the pressure washer makes things a little bit easier. So keep in mind, this is what we're going to be using throughout the rest of this video. And obviously I keep my ZR1 pretty clean, so the engine bay is not filthy by any means, but we are going to do something in the future that shows a dirtier engine bay. Regardless of how dirty it is, the process is basically the same though. So let's get started.
Wow, there's like nothing to clean. Hey,
so the ZR1 is a little different. Most of the engine bay
is carbon fiber. Yeah, I mean, but there's still good components. Like over here, you have the alternator, right? Right
yep.
Here. Yeah. So you don't want to have water go directly into it. You
Right.
want to mimic as much water going to that.
Plus, you can see stuff here where it's dirty. And
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I keep my cars pretty clean, so this isn't the greatest example of from dirty to clean, but what we're doing here is more so to teach you how to clean yours, because the process will be the same whether it's super dirty or, like mine, relatively clean.
So one thing to keep in mind, a lot of these, like I mentioned before, a lot of the newer cars have more protected components. So the process that we're going to do on this will be about the same for, you know, a newer car. If you are working on an older car where a lot more of the wires and electrical components are exposed, I would definitely recommend not doing this process. I would also more so recommend doing like a steam clean. So get a steamer, get, you know, a mild degreaser, and clean it that way. That way it'll be a little bit more effective, and you're not going to, you know, damage any of your electrical components or anything else in the car. Obviously with the C7 ZR1, there's really no exposed air intake on this one. It is covered over here. So that's one thing that we don't have to worry about putting a towel over or covering. On this side of the carbon fiber, we do have the alternator. That's also another critical piece. You do not want to spray any water directly into that. Obviously water is going to fall in it, that's okay, but we're not going to be shooting a whole jet stream of water directly into it. Now, depending on what your water source is going to be, obviously we are using a pressure washer today. Like I mentioned, you don't want to use a ton of water here, so if you are using a garden hose, I would definitely be very, very careful. The pressure washer that Justin have here is pushing out about 1,000 psi, but you're able to adjust the amount of psi on the unit. So we're going to change it down to about 300 to 400. That way we can have a really nice, easy flow of water coming through. And again, the engine bay is not that dirty, so we don't need a heavy amount of pressure for this. All right, so to start, we're going to just do a pre-rinse. So we're going to rinse the carbon fiber on the hood, as well as everything in the engine bay, just to remove any light dirt or dust that might have accumulated over the engine bay. And again, as mentioned, you can see the alternator is plain as day right there. So we're not going to spray any water directly into it, we're just going to work around it. So now that we have gotten the engine bay rinsed down, we're going to go ahead and move on with the degreasing process. There's a couple different options out there that you can use for degreasers. I prefer to use Green Star by Coach Chemi. It's a very customizable product which allows you to dilute the product as heavy as you want or as light as you want, depending on the amount of filth you're working with. And it's very safe on a lot of materials. So, you know, if you don't have that product, you know, I would recommend, you know, using any mild all-purpose cleaner. Just dilute it how, you know, depending on how dirty your engine bay is. You can also use citrus degreasers or citrus cleaners. Those also work really well. Basically just going to spray it on anything on the inside here. So the inner part of the fender here where there is you know, painted metal, and the plastics here is all going to get covered with Green Star. We're not going to worry about the carbon fiber because it has paint protection film on it and it is very well taken care of, so we'll wipe it down with detail spray at the very end of our process. So now that the product's been sitting on the surface for a little while, we're just going to go in and agitate it. I like to use, you know, for tighter areas like this, I'm using a boar's hair small intricate detail brush. You can use these for lug nuts or tight spokes on the wheels or even brake calipers. But I'm just going to use this to come in and agitate the Green Star, and then this way, you know, the product is agitated in there, and then we can rinse it off and then move on to the other side. There's a wide variety of tools you can use for this. When I'm working on bigger vehicles, I obviously use a much bigger brush because this would take forever to go at it with this. But this also allows you to get into some areas that those other tools do not reach. And boar's hair is very, very soft, so you're not going to scratch anything that would be, you know, gloss black or carbon fiber if you don't have paint protection film on it. Now any of the products or tools that we are using in this video, we are going to drop a link to them in the description. So if you don't have them and you want to purchase them yourself, you'll be able to get them from the links below. And another area to note that is always kind of overlooked is the windshield cowl. So you want to make sure you always get this cleaned up as well, because if the car sits outside, which I doubt you leave your Corvette sitting outside, but if you do and it's parked under a tree, you're going to get, you know, leaves and debris and things like that caught all at the end of the wiper blade arms. So we want to make sure that's always cleaned and looking good. Alright, now that we have the product agitated where we sprayed the green star, we're going to just go ahead and do a light rinse on this side, then we're going to move to the other side and do the same thing. And another reason to why we're doing it the way we are, we always want to do the engine bay first, because with the amount of water that's going to run off or dirt that's going to run off over the paint and back onto the wheels, you'd basically be doing your job over again. So you always want to do your engine bay first, and then after that move on to cleaning your wheels and then wash the rest of your car. So same deal on this side, we're just going to spray a little bit of green star here on our windshield cowl, gloss black down the side, and a little bit of miscellaneous plastic that's over here. I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up. Over here in the front driver's side corner is a control module. You know, that's an area where you want to try to spray not as much water there, and you can, as you noted, I did not spray any detail spray on there either. So you'll note that I did not spray any degreaser on that control module there, because you don't want to corrode any of the components that would be directly on there. So now that we have the engine bay completely degreased, we're going to go ahead and dry it off. So what I like to use is just use a leaf blower to dry, you know, as much as the engine bay as possible prior to us putting, you know, protectant on the plastic. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Ego leaf blower here with my short stubby nozzle, and we're going to remove as much water from this engine bay as possible before we move on. So if you were looking to do this process on your C8 Corvette, the process is just going to be basically the same, just the engine bay is in the rear of the car. Alright, so now that we got the engine bay all done, we're going to move on to cleaning the rest of the car. Obviously, next up is going to be to clean the wheels and address those first. So we're going to go in, pre-rinse them, and thankfully these have carbon ceramics, so we're not going to really induce too much of a wheel cleaner on them. Just foam them, clean them, spray them off, and then we'll come back and foam the car, wash the car, and then the car will be done. We'll put tire shine on it, we'll get it back to looking better than new, and Justin will be good to go to his next car show. Alright, so we're going to do this rear wheel. Here we're going to clean everything on it. What I like to do first with these is, you know, take a look at the wheel and see the amount of filth. Take a look at it and kind of take a mental note with the amount of dirt that is on it. Thankfully, in Justin's case, he has carbon ceramic brakes and rotors. So with that being said, over the years of doing this, I have noted that it's just much easier to do and much safer to clean the wheel without using a dedicated wheel cleaner. Over the years I've seen that these aluminum hats will get stained from a wheel cleaner itself. So the safest and most effective way to clean these wheels are to just foam it. So, you know, when I'm coming through here, I'll spray a tire cleaner in the wheel well. I'll spray the tire to get off any old tire shine and any dirt that may be on the tire. And then I'll come through and spray foam over the entire wheel and tire. And then I'll come through with an array of wheel cleaning tools to get this all cleaned up and back to looking good as new. So one of the soaps that I like to use that is a very high foaming soap is Gentle Snow Foam by Coach Chemi. This one's actually their Christmas edition because I love how it smells. But any good high foaming soap that you would use in a foam can would be great for this process. Because the other thing too is if there is a little bit of dirt on here, you never want to come in with just water. You want to have some sort of barrier between any of your wheel cleaning tools and the surface, because you definitely do not want to induce any scratches on these wheels. Rather if they're, you know, gunmetal or a gloss black. So first we're going to come in and just pre-rinse the wheel in the wheel well. This is going to remove any loose dirt and debris or brake dust that might be on the wheel, and then we're going to come in and do the rest of our method. So another thing to note too, which is kind of like a good tip of the trade, is anytime you're using the pressure washer gun, if you're taking this nozzle out to put a foam cannon in, always spray it directly at the ground first and never at the car, because in the event that the connectors did not seat properly, you're not going to launch the tip of this directly into your car, potentially damaging the film or even denting it or anything worse than that. So always pointing at the ground because you're not going to hurt the concrete. So I have my tire cleaner here that I'm going to use. This one is by Armor Detail Supply, and it comes as a concentrate, so you can dilute it exactly how you wish. So what I'm going to do is just spray this product in the wheel well. Even though it's carpet, we're still got to clean that, and then the front of the tire as well. This will help break down any layers of tire shine that might be on here, but as well as remove any dirt that might be on the rubber as well. Alright, now that we have that on there, we're going to foam the entire wheel and the tire and the wheel well as well. Make sure we're good there. Not going to shoot it at the car. Alright, so to clean this wheel and everything, I have a couple of different tools that I like to use. One of these is a wheel barrel brush. This one is by Easy Detail. This just helps to get the barrel of the wheel a lot easier than reaching your hand in there and having to clean it. So this is usually one of the first steps that I'll do, is to clean the barrel of the wheel. So we'll follow through and go in there and clean that, getting between the spokes. And this is also good with the back of the brake caliper here, where some of the areas that you can't reach with your hand. This tool is great for, you know, reaching those areas. Now this can be a multi-purpose tool too, so if you don't have another tool to clean the wheel wells, you could also rinse this and use it as well. I have another one of these brushes by Easy Detail, but it is, I'd say it's probably a little bit too big for this wheel well to get up in here and clean them. But thankfully Justin's are carpet, so and they don't appear to be too dirty. So we'll just go through with this one, and then we'll rinse it off after we do it, just to make sure there's no extra dirt or anything in it. We're back to our boar's hair brush, the same one that we used for the engine bay. This is going to get the brake caliper in between the lug nuts and any of these tighter grooves of the wheel, where, you know, using a wheel mitt or even like a light brush for the face of the wheels sometimes won't get. And the nice thing about using a soap like this is it's obviously it foams really, really well, but it sticks. So like we have a decent amount of working time on this wheel. So next we're going to follow up. This is basically a wheel cleaning microfiber mitt from the Rag Company. This is going to be used to get in between the spokes and the face of the wheel. This is what I prefer to use over using a brush. And then last but not least, we have a tire brush from the Detail Factory. This is just, obviously we sprayed our tire cleaner on here, so now we're going to want to scrub it and remove, any dirt that might be on there. Alright, so now that we have the wheel, the tire, the wheel well, the caliper, everything all clean, we're going to go ahead and rinse everything off now. And just like that, we have a clean wheel and tire and wheel well. And now we're going to go around and clean the other 3 wheels, and then we're going to get to washing this beast. Alright, so now that we went ahead and got the rest of the wheels all clean, we're going to go ahead and get this thing washed. So to start, we're going to pre-rinse the whole car off. Again, same process similar to the wheels. Just remove any light dust or dirt that may exist on top of the paint protection film and the coating. So I'm going to spray a pre-wash on the front of the car. In the front of the mirrors and the windshield. This is just going to help break down any bugs that are going to be up front. And then we're going to go ahead and foam the entire car, and then we're going to hand wash it. So obviously with the rinsing process, you're going to want to start at the top and rinse your way down. This way you're removing any of the dirt that's up there, and it's working its way down the panel. Same goes the same way when you're going to be washing the car. You always want to wash from the top down. So now that I got the car rinsed down, I'm going to go around with my pre-wash solution, which is just a mild citrus degreaser that's not going to harm the effects of the coating or the paint protection film, but it's going to do a good job at breaking down any of the bugs that are up front. You can also use like a bug and tar remover or bug and smudge remover. I just prefer to use this, and I have it in a IK pump sprayer just to kind of give it a little bit of foam. So we're going to go around and do the front of those real quick. And then we're going to come back and foam the whole car with the same soap that we did on the wheels, the Koch Chemi Gentle Snow Foam. And then we're going to hand wash the whole car. Always pointing at the ground first. Alright, so now that we have the car foamed down, we're going to go ahead through and wash the car. Obviously, to do the method the right way, use a 3-bucket system. So you have your 2 buckets that are dedicated exactly for washing the car, then you have the 1 bucket that we were using for the wheels. This way there's no cross-contamination between the different surfaces, possibly inducing, scratches onto the paint. Now all of the buckets, including the bucket for the wheels, all have grit guards at the bottom of them, which are basically these guards that sit at the bottom of the bucket. This basically helps any dirt and things like that might fall to the bottom of the bucket does not come back up through them and back into your wash mitt. So this one has a little bit of a side on it. So what I do for those is once I'm working on the surface, if I'm doing the top of the car and I do the front, I come back with my wash mitt here and I will rub it right on the grit guard, removing any dirt or contamination that might be in the fibers of the wash pad. And then I come back to my wash bucket, which has just soap and water in it, and then I go back over the car. The rinse bucket only has water in it. Obviously it has soap in it now from going back and forth with that pad, but you want to have as much of your dirt in the rinse bucket than you don't want to have any dirt in the wash bucket. So same method goes for whenever you're washing. You always want to wash from the top down. So the top of the roof, top of the hood, trunk deck or trunk, all of those stuff, and work your way down. Alright, now that we've got it washed up, we're going to rinse everything off. Again, point the pressure washer at the ground, make sure the tip is in correctly, and then start rinsing from the top and work your way down. Alright, so now that we have the whole car rinsed off, we're going to go through with the leaf blower, same one that we used for the engine bay, just to remove as much of this water as possible and remove as much from the different nooks and crannies of the car. The great benefit of having a ceramic coating and using a leaf blower or like an air blaster is that probably like 85 to 95% of the water will be removed with just air, and then we'll follow through with a towel and a little bit of detail spray to pick up the rest. Alright, so finishing up the car, we're just going to go over it with a microfiber towel, drying towel. This is one I believe from Auto Fiber that I got, that I like to use. It works really, really well at absorbing water. And then I'm just going to use a regular detail spray. If you have expelled detail spray, you can use that. This one's by 3D. It doesn't have any fillers or waxes or anything in it, which is why I like to use it. So I'm going to just mist it on panel by panel and wipe it off with this towel and pick up any remaining water. Alright, so now that we got a majority of the water dried off the car, we're going to open up the doors and the hatch and then the hood as well, just to get any remaining water that might be trapped in the jam here, to get it all leaked out, and then we can wipe all of those dry as well. So now that we've got all the doors opened up, we're going to use our detail spray again and a microfiber towel just to clean up any water that may have dripped into the door jamb, as well as any dust or dirt that is in here as well. So we're going to go around and do all of those, and then once that's done, we're going to dress the tires and then do the final wipe on the wheels, and then it'll be done and ready to go. Alright, next up for the second to last part of this detail, and my favorite part, is the tire shine. So what I prefer to use is a water-based tire shine for tires, and this one's going to be by Armor Detail Supply. It's their Tire Plus Conditioner. Yes, it's water-based, so it's going to add, you can add as much shine to it as you want, so you can do a couple layers of it if you really like shiny tires, or you can just do one layer like I typically do for more of like a matte finish to the tire. A reason to go with water-based over a silicone-based, like something that's going to come in an aerosol can, is silicone is pretty bad for your tires, and it actually degrades the rubber over time. Plus, it also makes your tires sticky, so they're more likely to pick up any dirt and things like that than a water-based tire shine would. Plus, if you don't apply them properly, it's going to sling all over the side of your car, and that's the ticket that a lot of people, I feel like, screw up on when they're cleaning their car. They dress their car, or dress the tires, drive down the road, tire shines all over the whole car, and then they blame the tire shine. So, for this, what I like to do is just spray the bottom of the tire and spray a little bit into my applicator. I believe this applicator is from Armor Detail as well. It's just a small one, which is good for these smaller tires. So spray a little bit there and spray a little bit on the face of the applicator, and then just going to wipe this in. And we're going to let that one set up, and I'm going to go around and dress the other three. Alright, so now that we got the tire shine applied on all the tires, now it's basically the last part is we're going to just wipe up the wheels. Any, say if we missed a little bit of dirt or any remaining water that's left on the wheel, we're going to spray a little bit of detail spray on there and just wipe them up and get them looking good as new as well. So let's do this one, and then we'll go and do the other three. That right there is a clean wheel. Alright, so now that we got the engine bay basically degreased and cleaned, we're going to basically put a protectant on all the plastics and the hoses and things like that. And what I like to use is Motorplast by Coach Chemi. This is a fantastic product that kind of gives an OEM plus shine to all of the plastics and hoses and rubber connectors in there. And the great benefit with this product is that it's actually heat resistant up to like 482 degrees. And another thing to note about this product is when I have clients come in and get their cars detailed, They'll do a full detail twice a year, so a spring and a fall detail. The engine bay still looks new every single time that I pop it to clean it. That's how well this product works. So what we're going to do is just do a light layer on any of the plastic bits here and let it sit for a little bit, then we'll come back and hit it with detail spray, and then the engine bay is done. Alright, so while we're letting this product set up and do its thing, we're going to come back in with just the same detail spray we have been using and wipe the bottom side of the hood as well as the gloss black on the inner side of the fender here, and then the carbon fiber, just to clean up the rest of that. Alright, so now that we sprayed motor plast on here and it's sat for a little bit, we're going to just come in with an older microfiber towel and just level it out and wipe out any remaining residue, and then we are done with the engine bay. Alright, so now that we got the engine bay detailed, we got the rest of the car washed and the wheels cleaned, that concludes our detail on this beautiful C7 ZR1.
Alright guys, and that's going to do it for the video. So if you see the difference here, the car wasn't super dirty before, but you can just tell now it is literally a mirror. The black exterior of the C7 ZR1, the ceramic coating, the PPF, everything is held up really well in this car. Plus, Patrick knows how to wash a car. So once it's washed and detailed up like we did today, your coating, your PPF, everything will last a lot longer. And trust me when I say your PPF will thank you for doing it the correct way. So anyway, guys, if you liked the video, smash the thumbs up button. Go check out the detail guy. He's obviously here in Pittsburgh. He will come to you within a certain radius. I'll leave his information in the description down below if you'd like him to come wash something for you or detail. He does a bunch of different stuff. So check out his website down below. You can actually schedule him to come out right from there. And if you do go to the website, make sure you mention that you saw this video here on the Horsepower Obsessed channel, and you'll get an extra 10% off of any services offered by Patrick. And as far as we're concerned here, guys, like I said, we're all set. Everything's ready to go. So that's it. We're going to end it. Stay obsessed.